Hey everybody, welcome back to the EQN Sports Desk. I am Drew Stu. All of this is driven by Holiday Auto Group. This is special. This is my old pal right here. And if you don't know who this is, then you don't know anything about horses, and I don't know if we can be friends. Fallon.
Thanks for having me.
What are you doing? What are you doing at a cow horse show?
I haven't been kicked out yet, so we're going to let
just
me
wait.
enjoy it.
So this is so cool. So we're talking about who we've got lined up to come on the desk, and like, hey, by the way, at 2 o'clock you're doing Fallon, and I'm like, Fallon who? And they're like, Fallon Taylor, and I'm like,
Why?
She
is a barrel racer,
Yeah,
and
like,
we don't let those in here.
Yeah, what, are you
she
sure?
She wears a helmet.
Yeah.
Are we sure?
Man, so how really? I mean, we'll talk backstory here in a second. But how did this come about?
Man, there's a lot of backstory, though.
There
I
is.
got to go way down this road. So, obviously, I have my own breeding program.
Sure.
And I sell a lot of foals, and I mainly breed them for myself. And Baby Flo, doing what she did in our industry and winning $1 million and 2 world titles and doing all of those things, Horse of the Year, Reserve Horse of the Year, all those things. Obviously, we bred her to some really nice studs.
Sure.
One of those being Metallic Cat. And we named that baby Florari, and Florari has gone on to do everything's a flow. I'm like George Foreman, like everything's a flow.
Yeah.
Florari has gone on to do incredible things. She is with my protege, Laura Lee Ward in Colorado, who has won over $50,000 in pro rodeo. She's a young girl and also has ridden a lot of cow horses and a lot of things. And this was her dream pedigree. So I knew when her horse came up hurt and Florari was in the mix, I was like, you ought to go get that mare.
Sure.
Like, she's really nice. And she's just sitting here because God has blessed me abundantly, and I have more than I can ride at that level. You know how it is.
Sure.
You can only ride 1 or 2 of your best ones. You can't roam and ride to every barrel. You've got to pick one and kind of go with your hot hand, and that mare was sitting. Had a very small injury and just sat around. Back further than that, when I bred this, when I got this baby, the first person I could think to send it to was Clayton Anderson. And since then, I've sent several colts to Clayton.
Gotcha.
But Florari being the first one, because I wanted her to be started on a cow with this dream that maybe she's going to be teeny tiny because of Baby Flo.
Sure.
And maybe she'd have a whole lot of cow. Turns out she's big. And she wants to run and turn a can. And so that also works for us in our program.
That is not a bad deal.
That is also fine. So Clayton did an incredible job, as he has done on he started a couple of my stallions, and he's just done an incredible job for us on foals. And came up the conversation of, at some point I'd like to retire to ride a cow horse or a cutter or something. And in the last few months, I've had plenty of wrecks where I've thought maybe retirement was coming sooner
Coming a
than
little
later.
sooner than we thought.
And I was like, I could actually take my helmet off and do this, We're wrecking at 35 miles an hour. I've seen the underside of more horses in the last month than I care to even discuss.
Yeah.
And I've sent Clayton all those videos and was like, maybe line up a non-pro horse. Will they let me in the non-pro?
Yeah, just come on.
Maybe I could do the boxing. And so I don't want to run one down the fence. I think that's probably, we don't want to do that.
That's where you're going to be.
I think that's where we're just doing the same thing.
I don't know, but knowing you would be that deal where you'd do it once and you'd be like, yeah, I kind of got it.
No, I want to run one down the fence. Like, you don't understand how bad I want to run one down the fence.
Yeah.
But I also see a high probability for a wreck all the time.
Yep.
And, I know how to make one run.
Yeah.
So, and I like to go fast.
Yeah.
So I could see this getting bad quickly. Anyway, Clayton pointed my husband and I in the direction of skunk and said, I know you want to kind of toy with this.
Yep.
This is probably a decent option if you'd like. And then as it has grown and he's matured a little bit more, he's been like, hey, you probably got lucky here.
Yeah.
This is, we may have us a unicorn. Yeah. And I'm like, now, I am the luckiest person on earth. Yeah. I mean, I did break my neck and then walk away from that.
Right.
Right. I do know I'm a very lucky person. So I do think that God has always been really good to me, and because of that and his diligence and favor in my life, I really do come out smelling like roses on some of these things where I'm like, man, this is way bigger than myself. And I know that this can also bless Clayton's family because this horse is a stallion and he's got all the right tools to be a stallion prospect. And that's kind of my focus in my career right now, is more toward the Baby Flo stallions. And anyway, I think this is going to work. I think this is going to work out. We're really loving this.
Hey, They could use a little sprinkle of Fallon Taylor in this deal.
I'm here.
They
to
could
be
use
Salt
a little
Bay.
sprinkle of this
here to
deal.
Be Salt Bay to the NRCHA.
How about it? That is so cool. Well, good for you. So I want there. I mean, you've told your story a million times. You really have, and we don't need to do all that. But one thing that I do want to talk about is, I think I met you for the first time up at one of Bill and Jan's sales.
Like decade and a half ago.
At least.
Yeah.
At least.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm up there working for Bill and Jan, and then it was a thing, you'd bring horses. People, I don't know if people know the horse side of course they know the baby flow side now. The horse deal has been your whole world for a long time and really, really deep in it.
I have played stupid, I think, for a little too long. Where people just are like, like maybe she does know, maybe it's not all just pixie dust.
Yeah.
And there's some substance here, and I've really studied pedigrees, and I really love these animals, and I've studied my trainers, and I study a lot of. I watch live streams. I mean, I'm absolutely addicted to any equestrian sport. I'm talking, I own all the apps for the World Cup jumping horses, for the reiners, and I've flown to watch Run for a Million just to watch it. And I'm very invested.
You're a student of the game all the time, aren't you?
I love these animals, and what they can do is crazy. I also do think, since watching Skunk do what Skunk does over these last, several months, my 3-year-old barrel horses, I'm at home just like, you should be ashamed of yourself. This thing is sliding and spinning and lead changing in the middle and reading a cow. And I ask you to turn a can that stands still. You should be ashamed.
That's
and so I'm barn shaming your
3-year-olds.
I'm like, you ought to see what these 3-year-olds are doing.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's got to be fun for you, though, huh? Come back over here, and like you said, you'd always wanted to be in the cow horse deal anyway.
Always.
Show cutters or whatever it is.
Absolutely. And my husband doesn't ride. So I will have to credit my husband big time because he's the one that pulled the trigger on this. And he was like,
really?
I want to be an owner. He doesn't ride.
Yeah.
And Alex is, he has helped to grow our businesses like crazy. He's a digital marketer.
Has it turned into a little outside? He is a marketing genius for sure.
Yes.
But has this turned into a little pet passion for him too?
This is a big deal for Alex. And, it started with the stallion game is really what Alex is interested in because that's something he can do. He can market that and not have to ride them.
Sure.
And be super invested. And each stallion is in of itself a business.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of clients. There's, a product we have to produce and market it correctly. Same with this investment. When we asked, our first question we asked about Skunk was, do we think he's going to be level-headed enough to stay a stud? Because that's a big deal for us.
Sure.
So for Alex, he's like, I just want to go to an event and be an owner. I'm never, because they're, Alex, when are you going to ride? When are you going to ride? And it's like, he wants to watch the game. Like, he wants to be a team owner, watch the game. I will say, I'm sure at some point in his career, I'll throw a leg over Skunk, but I have no big grand plans.
Sure.
I want to see Clayton and his family be so incredibly blessed. We want to fly to Vegas to South Point. We want to watch the Snaffle Bit. We want to be on the schedule and sit front row. And I don't drink, but this would be really cool if I had a glass of wine. In my mind, I drink alcohol, but it's just Ranch Fuel or Diet Dr. Pepper. But in my mind, it's wine, So in my mind, I'm sitting there so chic and watching this gorgeous black horse. So this is our fairy tale.
I love
honestly.
it. I love it. And I love the thing about you. You've been there, done that, got the T-shirt. So it's cool that you're, and you've worked so hard for so long. I mean, let's get, like you say, you play a little coy on this deal. There's nobody that's worked harder.
Well, thank you.
Fallon,
Thank you.
I mean, I remember, I don't know if you remember this, but we're in Haskell, America, over here a few years ago. And I mean, more than a few years ago, and we were talking about you starting your YouTube channel, and you're like, do you think I should? I was like, yeah. Yeah, you should.
And I think it's been 15 years to the month on YouTube since that conversation. What
you have done, and you don't do anything half-assed at all. It's 220 volt all the way, but it's with your business savvy is what is so amazing. And what you're talking about with you and Alex and doing this, you're setting somebody else's family up, but you're doing it, everything's for a purpose. And I love that about you. I really do. It's not all smoke and mirrors and everything. There's a business behind everything. Man, when you used to come up to the sale at Bill and Jan's, we'd be like, Fallon's coming. and there's a reason.
Right.
And those horses were marketed the right way. And people would be like, how does she ring the bell on these horses? Because she works her butt off.
Right.
And I mean,
the horses
that is your
so cool.
Right?
They make it so cool where you're just like, I wonder what I could do on this one. I wonder what this one could do. I wonder if enough people could see this one, could they enjoy him like we do?
Is that where you're like? Where, so at the bottom of it, Fallon, what is that for you? What is that root fire for you that is driven from the gold buckles to everything that you've done from a young age up to now? What is the fire?
Have you ever gotten a Rubik's Cube and you sat down at Cracker Barrel and you got that little peg game and you're like, I wonder if I could do this. And then, let's say whatever's wrong with me is wired right. Like whatever's driving all the thing. It's like I really like whatever's wrong with me where I won't quit on it, but kind of like a cow dog that just, you can't let them loose because they just keep wanting to work. I think my husband and I are both that way. I really hope the genetics pass on to our kid and he's got that same fire in his belly because I think
if he's got it from both directions,
I really hope he does.
Look
I really hope he does. But if I set you down in front of a Rubik's Cube or a peg game and you just kind of fixate on that and then you realize a horse is that, but you never are done. You never can figure it all the way out. You never win the game. There's a part of that drives me a little crazy because when you win the world, which I didn't know I'd accomplish, and then I do finally get that accomplished, and then the clock strikes midnight, you've got your gold buckle in your hand, and you're thinking, man, I'm done. And they reset. And then all of the internet or social media or the people that hate you go, bet she can't do it again.
Oh,
and you're like,
buddy,
probably not, but also let's give her a shot.
What did you just say?
Yeah, what have you done? And when I'm in this arena behind me, all these banners behind me, and you see the guys that have done this 4 or 5 times, and you realize, man, this is the gauntlet. Like, they're jumping through fiery hoops right here. That same fixation kind of kicks in where you're like, I wonder if we could do this. I wonder if this could be something that we could figure out a little by little. We don't know that Batty's Only is that horse. We don't know that, but it's feeling pretty good, and it's awesome to give it a shot, and then maybe the next one and the next one. And you know how it goes. Then it's just an illness that just...
Yeah, the illness just... Yeah, it is. It is. It's the most positive form of cancer ever.
Yes, ever.
Oh, my God. Well, that's cool. I mean, I love that's what you've done. And right here, speaking of this, you are in good shape. You've got a 17 and a 15 or 16 already in the Rein and the Herd. A 17 and a 16 right now, the way things have been going, is outstanding.
It's really great. And let's just talk about, and I'm a barrel racer, so let me get this out. We were bottom of the ground in the rein work. Okay, that matters to me.
Yeah.
And he lost his hind end just a touch.
Yeah.
And there were places that it was a little bit, shifty.
Yeah.
And in the cow work, if we'd have drawn, this is everyone, right?
Yeah.
I'm new to this, but if all 3 of them had been like the last one,
right.
I think he tried. He tried. Clayton is showing this horse so well, and we just couldn't ask anything more than. And I like middle. Yeah. I think if you can hit the middle every time, you can win a world title, and I've proven it.
Yep.
Middle is better than first and then last and then first and then last. So I don't know exactly all the ins and outs of how this works, but I'm scared
you and I are the same.
For the fence work. Like that cow work, it feels like that can really make or break all of this.
What does Clayton say? Is he strong? Is he strong going down the fence?
I asked no question.
You were talking about you were the perfect owner.
I'm trying to win Client of the Year. I don't know if they give a buckle for that, or if there's an incentive or a side pot. I would like to be put in. I told
We'll
Alex,
nominate you for that.
Thank you.
We'll nominate you,
I
definitely.
would like, we're going to do a vote later that you can text in for me for Client of the Year.
Because you just stay out of it.
I just don't want to. We haven't even seen the horse here.
Really?
I made a TikTok about this. I hid behind a pole in the warm-up pen while he was warming up. I've been the trainer.
You're like the groom at the wedding. Like, I don't even want to see her.
I don't even want to.
I don't want to see it.
None of that juju. I'm trying to stay out of the way because I've had the client pressure, and I think sometimes for some trainers, I think that's great. I think maybe if they grew up with a lot of pressure, maybe that's great. I'm not the client for them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to apply pressure because I've been the trainer, and the client pressure. It doesn't make me crumble, but it makes me a little resentful.
But you put enough pressure on yourself, though. That's the difference.
You're there to win.
Yeah, you're there to win. Where maybe somebody else that just needs that little bit of push. They're not you. That's you're like, look, man, I got enough.
I want to be perfect all the time.
Whatever pressure you're putting on me, I got twice as much already.
Absolutely.
Leave me alone. Let me do my job.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And every colt that Clayton has started for me, he under promises and over delivers every time. And every time I've gone to his house, I'm probably not going to get another colt started from Clayton because he's about to be too busy. I've done this to myself.
That's the best thing in the world, though.
Great, great.
Good on you.
I've done this to myself.
Yeah.
But every time he's like, this colt, I kind of wish this would have happened, or this would have been a little different, or I sure hate that I wasn't able to ride him because he got an abscess, or just the most honest that you can get out of a trainer. And I told you before, but I've saved voicemails from Clayton.
Yeah.
Because the news he gives is such good and honest news.
Yeah.
And I told my husband, I was like, it's so rare to get these kind of voicemails that I'm going to save one.
Absolutely.
To remember
usually it's like, well, Fallon, so,
he's a little behind.
Yeah.
I really thought he was going to be where we wanted him to be, but I got busy, and I hope it comes together.
Bro.
And you're just like, and my bill is still there on the 1st.
Yeah,
no matter, I'm still on time, but so with this, I just don't feel that added pressure from a client is helpful. And so my husband and I are just trying to sneak around all of this show. Today, I actually texted him because I know he's not showing today.
Yeah.
I texted him and said, I think we'd like to come by and see Skunk.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen him 3 times in his life, which I know is wild, but I would like to stay out of his hair and let the trainer train.
Yeah, but Fallon, I have a sneaky suspicion no matter what happens, you're, like you said, that's how we got you. We blackmailed you here so you could get in.
I am so excited, though.
So excited to go to the finals and to nobody, no matter what happens, is going to be more excited than you, and that's cool. And
I'm thrilled.
You've been there, you've competed, you know the deal. You don't win them all,
right? But you can.
You sure?
You can
I was just going to say.
You don't have to lose them.
You don't have to. That's why I love you.
You don't have to lose them all.
You don't have to.
You can be in the mix.
Yeah.
And it's an honor to have been accepted. The NRCHA has been fantastic to me.
Isn't this a cool world? It's a cool world.
I thought they'd be like, get out of here. No. Like, oh, she's going to make Clayton wear a tie-dye something and a helmet.
Make him wear a helmet.
This is going to be awful.
I think he should do that just because...
Go down the fence if we're hauling butt. It's not a bad idea. But I want to say that the barrier to entry to have people help you in this world and to be really kind. One thing I hate about interviews, can we just say this, is that everybody goes, everybody's just been so nice to me and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, that's disingenuous, and I don't like that. Mm-hmm. This is coming from a really honest place. Everybody has been really cool, cheering for the horse because of the horse and because of Clayton, not because of the pixie dust that maybe my name's on the papers.
Yeah.
They really enjoy the horse. They like the horse. They've been very complimentary. We're excited to open his books after this is over with. We don't want to mess with this colt before then.
Yep.
But I'm excited to dip my toe into the cow run cross. We need an out cross for some baby flow babies. So this is going to be really cool. And also, later on, like I said, I've seen the underside of way too many barrel horses in the last 30 days. Yeah. I'd like to play with this.
Absolutely. I tell you what, so, I mean, my background, the team roping deal, I'm not from here either. I announced a bunch of cut-ins for a really long time. This world is different. And every person that's been up here has had this, and you're exactly right. I'm the same way. But genuinely, this is very cool. When I said it here a minute ago, when Cushing comes up, or any of the guys at any level always want to come up and shake your hand and say, hey, when are you going to start? Like, when are you going to get in this? Or, man, we'd love to help you out. I've got some kids. We'll find a horse for your kids.
And this doesn't pay bad.
No. And so this is what I think, that you and me talking from the outside looking in, here's what I've come up with over the last 3 or 4 days of being here. This is hard. They've got 3 disciplines. They've got 3 of them, and they're asking them to do completely different things in 3 days. You're at the end. You're asking one to blow by when you just got done cutting on him the day before, where you're asking him to stop.
The finger wagging I did in my barn, I'm telling you, because it just blows my mind.
Yeah, going back to the shame.
Yes,
it's
I
unreal.
Just was like, you guys had it so easy.
I'm telling you, I'd never thought about it. Of course, I always thought cow, because on the rope horse side of it, this is our biggest crossover. This is where we see the biggest crossover for especially our head horses. This is where we see it. But man, sitting here and watching and talking to these guys and thinking about it, like, how would I even go about trying to train one of the? No idea.
Where do you even start?
No idea.
Because you could spend a year on one of them.
One thing.
On just the turnaround.
Yeah.
You could just spend. You could
100%.
spend a year on just reading a cow.
Yeah.
Just a year on that.
Yeah.
And that's it. This is mind blowing.
It's cool, isn't it?
It's really cool.
It's really cool. Hey, let's watch your horse, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
We're gonna watch him right here.
All right.
And you're gonna tell me a little bit about what you see right here, okay?
Okay, and again, I know nothing, but
that's what's cool about it.
But so when I knew, I was like, okay, because I watched what I thought was this cow work with a couple of horses before him, and I thought, oh, it's really going to come on.
Yeah.
I think Clayton made the most out of this because he was kind of gapping across and not really letting us have that big move. I want to see I want to hoop and holler.
Yeah.
I want to whistle. I want to be annoying. I want to do all the things. This cow did not give us the opportunity to be the level of annoying that I was wanting to be. I have cut enough as a child. I was 7. I have cut enough that I was like, okay, he's going to quit. And I was kind of surprised that I could call when he was going to quit.
Sure.
So I was like, I kind of want to get on a cow horse right now.
Yeah.
So on this one, and the guys helping him, I thought, did an outstanding job.
Yep.
And right here, when he almost got by him, I was like, and then you can see where Skunk has got a motor. He's a big, strong colt and tries to work. So
he is big and strong.
I thought we got a little bit of action out of this one, and then I saw Clayton's face was like, we're done. And I was so excited. There was 10 seconds left on the clock when he got this little mott face out, and I was like, let's get it on.
Good.
This is what we wanted. I got to be super annoying. I was in the truck watching the live stream, so only annoyed my husband and my son. But I was really, really excited.
That was a good third cow.
To see him work this one and get enough time and really show the horse. Clayton just shows so beautifully that I knew he was going to give him a good shot to look cool.
Yeah.
I wish we'd have had 3 of those last one.
Right.
Right. I mean, doesn't everybody? Is that the whole sport?
Well, that's the whole
I
sport.
wish I was top of the ground.
Yeah.
I wish. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
But
the whole deal. Hey, Clayton, what a good guy.
Really good guy.
So, he was at Chris Cox's years and years and years ago, I think. I'm almost positive. And that's where we got to be buddies.
Oh, cool.
And I had a little gray horse. He got married. I had this little gray horse that would jump the fence all the time.
With you on it? Or
no? No.
Okay.
No, like I pulled into my place one time, and barbed wire fences on both sides of the road, and the horse is out in the field, and I do roping the dummy or something, and I turn around, and the gray horse is standing in the driveway, and there's no gate between the gates over here, and he would just jump the fence, and he was little. And anyway, Clayton and I monkeyed around with him a little bit. You could heel on him. I took him to World Series ropings, and you could heel on him, and he would buck on like the 10th run. He was one of those.
Oh.
Yeah, like you
warm
him
a touch counterfeit.
Yeah, just a tick counterfeit. So I gave him to Clayton.
Yeah. Like any good friend would do.
Like any good friend, and it was a wedding present. And funny stories. That's so funny. What a great guy. No, he knew because we're like, how are we going to get the buck out of him? So we flanked him and tried to get the buck out of him.
How'd that work?
I don't know. I don't know, but I think he called me at one point, and he's like, yeah, I sold this horse, and I think he sold him for a little bit of money, and he's like, do I owe you anything? I'm like, absolutely not. No, we got our money.
We're square.
Out of it. We're totally square. Joke's on you.
Next time, I'll just get you the champagne glasses and call it a day.
Exactly. No, but what a good guy. Good on you. How did you find him? What is the story there?
He was a recommendation from my friend Cooper Smith.
Oh, gotcha.
That owns a lot of really cool
reiners.
Yeah. And he said, you need to call this guy, and he's close to home, and this is a really good guy. And I was like, Cooper has always done right by me. Yeah. And I've known Cooper since he was like 15, and I just was like, let's do it. Yeah. And of course I hauled I don't have any dinks. God has been really good.
Sure,
I'm telling you.
Sure.
I don't have any culls. I don't have any dinks. And so I'm pretty sure my first one I sent up there was the Ferrari, or the Baby Flow Metallic Cat Ferrari. And he did just a phenomenal job, and then was like, I don't really know what you want me to do with this thing. It wants to run, and it doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop, and it wants to run, and it can really turn.
Yeah.
And it's kind of mean, and I don't know what you want to do with it. And I was like, we want to win on that.
Yeah. Well, I want that. I want that dragon.
That's the one we want.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. So one more thing before we get out of here. You have competed from being a kid all the way up through now. What about what this dang industry has done in the last even under 10 years? Like, what do you think, Fallon? I mean, look at your business. Look what you've been able to do.
It's been really cool.
Guys.
I just think everybody's starting to get not starting to get, but you can see what they have sown. They're starting to reap that.
Yeah.
Where the incentives are coming in
Sure.
and playing a big part. Everybody has really understood embryo flushing and all of those things that they've been doing for a lot longer than a decade. I realize that, but it's starting to sharpen.
Right. That's what I mean by that. Of course, it's longer than 10 years. But the way you put it, we are sowing it now.
Absolutely.
And it's big time.
And I think they, in the barrel horse industry, we've in the last maybe 15, 20 years, did we really, really care about the mama?
Yeah.
In this, they've known that forever.
Yeah.
I feel like it, from my perspective, just outside looking in, of like, they've known a good mare is a good mare is a good mare is a good mare. And for us, we get these big trends of racehorse stallions that have never seen a barrel. I mean, they'll never go around a barrel. They'll never win $1. And we will still be able to get these really amazing babies. And of course, that's a big part of us. It's a race.
Sure.
So it's a big part of our industry, and those stallions are vital to our industry. But at the same time, going back and going, man, that mare could produce something really intelligent. We can cross all these on different things. I think we've just begun to really hone what we like and what is best suited for the job that we're asking them to do, and it's only going to get better.
The team ropers, we figured it out last month, I think, on the mares.
We just figured that out.
2 months. No, I mean...
I'm not going to say anything about a team roper except they always have their horse tied in my way in the alleyway. Always.
Coming
Forever.
From a crazy barrel racer. Whatever.
Forever.
Take it with a grain of salt,
Forever.
guys. Whatever.
And my horses are broke because Clayton Anderson breaks them. So while he hasn't broke all of them, I broke Baby Flo, and it shows. It shows.
Man. So, but really and truly, like on our side of it, we've got the Riata now, and it's 4 years into it. The mares, us guys were riding unpapered grade sorrel horses forever, and not worry. You couldn't catch us dead riding a mare. If we did, we didn't tell anybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? And there were some great...
I have never understood that.
There were some great mares. Don't get me wrong, but if you were going to sell a mare, it was going to be $5,000, $10,000 cheaper.
Right.
And that was going to be the deal, and now it has changed. And it's cool that it has changed. And because that has changed, we've been able to do what you've been doing for a long time. We're talking to these guys. We're not only looking for the stallions. I mean, look at what Mel's doing with her deal. We're looking at these mares, and we're going, hey, we need that first.
Yes. Hey,
we need that instead of we've always looked at it the other way around.
The trainability of a mare, and this is just from my perspective. I've trained hundreds of horses and got some cool things on my resume. I've always had amazing luck with a mare. I've always done really well, or on stallions, which is just kind of crazy. But I, as a kid, rode Dr. Nick Barr. He's the last son of Flip Barr, and he did some amazing things. He's still one of the all-time great producers in the country, in the history of our sport, which is really, really cool because that was 100 years ago before incentives and anything. But I have had so much luck with a mare. And I just think that with all of our sports, I think we're starting to, I feel like this sport did it first and kind of taught us. Yeah. I feel like cutting and the cow horse industry really taught us that
I agree 100%.
A great mare goes a long way.
I agree 100%.
And they produce great geldings for all the team in the land.
For everybody benefits.
Everyone can have a great gelding from a great mare.
Yay! Well, what else? What else we got? What should we wrap with right here?
Well, I want everybody to cheer for Baddies Only to get to the finals. I know we take 30 plus ties. I'm learning all of this.
You are, yeah. Hey.
And I really, really hope that we have a composite score that gets us through there. We got a show on Monday. So
on Monday, is that when we're going down the fence?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to see him go down the fence. And I'm going to restrain myself and just be like, try to not be the most annoying person in the stands. But
just let
there's
it out.
a lot of people hooping and hollering, and I like those people. I've found my people in NRCHA.
Oh, hey, we had a guy up here the other day, and his wife was like of Fallon. She was it was awesome.
She was doing her thing.
It was awesome. It was awesome. I mean, and that's what it's all about. When they get screaming, and it's fun. And there is nothing cooler than watching them go down the fence. I mean,
I am a reserved, non-drinking homeschool graduate. I come alive for the horse events. I mean, alive. I'm just like, this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
So I've warned Clayton that, I like to market things, and this is going to be a pretty nice horse. And I have warned him with that. And this was pre-futurity. I warned him. Like,
you warned him a long time ago. Yeah.
Cameras and whatever. And then the horse's name is Baddies Only, which just shows you the criteria to qualify for a breeding to this one. You got to be a baddie.
You got to be.
And so I don't know if I don't know how much merch we're going to make. It's going to be a lot.
It's going to be a lot.
And I don't know if we're going to hire bikini models to walk him in the arena.
But we might.
And security with a mic walking into the finals if we make it. But it's on the table. Just
not saying we won't.
Just on the table.
I love it. You are the best thing that happened to that guy.
Well, hey.
You are the best thing that happened to that guy.
He and Amy have just been so good to Alex and I, and we are so grateful for the opportunity. We're just happy. We're just happy to have our name on the piece of paper and a place to sit. Like, that's our job.
I tell you what, as a friend of yours for a long time, but also as a huge fan, I want to tell you seriously, thank you for what you have done. And what I mean by that is, so maybe not everybody in our industry watches Ed Milet. Maybe not everybody does. But for the young entrepreneurs out there in our industry that do watch stuff like that, and the places that you have been, and you have taken the cowboy, whether it be barrel racer or whatever, you've taken it to more eyes than anybody in our industry.
Well, that is very kind.
That's very true. That's very true. It's very true. And you have put a spotlight on our industry through you and your personality and everything you've done that people, thank you for that.
Well,
I don't know how else to say it. And in Fallon, I truly mean that because it is cool to wear one of these.
Yep. It's very
cool to wear one of these.
It's very cool.
And when people like you can go out there and cross those lines and sit with those people and take a little bit of
and say, hey, these things are taken better care of than our kids.
Right.
These things are. Yeah. These are our lifeblood. Yeah. Like these are our soul as in this industry. I think that is really cool.
This is more than you bargained for. But what's it like when you sit down with somebody like Ed, or that is totally like when the cameras are off? Do they ask about the industry? Like, what is it really like? Like, what are those conversations like?
I do get to cross a lot of those barriers, and a lot of those people, they understand because everybody at some point has had a love for a sport, and they've had a love for a dog or a cat, but they've never seen it together. They've never seen somebody sob over losing a horse. That's a very bizarre thing for somebody that works at a desk job and has their dog next to them. And doesn't understand that. What if the desk job were the dog?
Wow. What a good way to. Wow.
What if that were then imagine how that feels. Imagine that your livelihood and your love is wrapped up into one thing. It becomes something that supersedes a lot of things that people can really wrap their head around. And I know, if you play in the NFL and you tear an Achilles, you very quickly understand you are the machine. Yeah. And you can't break. And that's, I think, what's so incredible about this industry is we get these horses for such a short time. They're not here for 100 years like we could be. Yeah. They're here for 10 years. Yeah. If we're lucky, 15 or 20. If we're real lucky, maybe just a little bit longer than that. But like Baby Flo's 19 this year. Yeah. And we're producing these foals, and she looks like $1 million, and she wants to go run barrels so bad she can't even stand it. But, thankfully, the machine has moved from her, and I get just to enjoy her in a different way now. Yeah. But it really blows people's mind to understand and to receive criticism of that these horses might be in some way mistreated, or that I hear things that a lot of these guys don't hear because they're not on the same platforms that I am. Sure. Where the spurs are hurting the horsey and the cow. Well, what about the cow? And then they're eating a hamburger, but they're going, "Well, we cried for the cow," and you're like, "This is just." Think of it from this way and zoom out a little bit, and it makes it really cool to cross those barriers and tell people what this really means to these families. Yeah. Well, thank you for doing that. Thank you. The industry is better for having you, Fallon. Well, that's a huge statement, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate you. I really do. Thank you.
You ready to win something?
I'm ready.
Ready to win something. All right, everybody. Well, this is what it's all about right here. Coming to it from both ends of the arena, from the barrel racing side of it here into the cow horse. We're glad to have Fallon. Thanks for hanging out with me.
Thank you.
And everybody, make sure you stick around. We've got a whole lot of live streaming. We're live streaming from both arenas. You can go check that out. And, of course, here on Facebook and YouTube, wherever you catch us at EQN Sports, all driven by Holiday Auto Group. And make sure you go to NRCHA.com and don't miss any of the live streams. On behalf of Fallon, I'm Drew Stu. We'll catch you in a little bit.